as a humanitarian clown with Dr. Patch Adams in Guatemala, Peru, Mexico, India, and Russia. He is an inspiring speaker, a caring life coach, and the author of the soon-to-be published first book, Love's Healing Journey, Memoirs of a Humanitarian Clown, in which he retells how humor brought transformation from his traumatic childhood to becoming a messenger of love. Today he shares a small part of this journey on how humor transformed his life and led him to the real life purpose, to inspire other healers to listen with love and share their authentic self for the benefit of humanity. Please welcome Guy Giard.
I was 8 years old. It was the end of summer, and I was at elementary school. It was time of recess. All the kids were playing around, running around. I couldn't join them. I couldn't connect with them. I ended up sitting alone in the corner. Other days, I would go hide in the library of the school. One day, in between those books, I felt some eyes looking at me. And I saw this man on a record cover. I didn't know who he was, but it was the first time I felt somebody was looking at me with loving eyes. I borrowed the record, I brought it home, set it on the shelf. He brought love into my home. I now had a friend, but he couldn't listen to me. And as I grew older, I needed to express the solitude and the pain I was feeling. So I started to write. And for the next 40 years, I wrote. I started to smoking cigarettes. I wrote in cafes till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I felt safe in the anonymity of the crowd. I could be myself, alone, but together with people. Maybe that's why after 40 years of writing, the memories came back. At the age of 4, a teenage girl who was living in our home sexually abused me. My mother caught her while she was masturbating me. My mother freaked out. She slapped her. She screamed. She took me and put me alone in my bedroom. I cried in the darkness. No one was there for me. I knew then that it was my fault. I knew that I was a monster. And I knew that I deserved to be abandoned. This is how my life went on. A few years later, at the age of 8, I was sent. I was a Boy Scout. I had no memories of ever being a Boy Scout. An all-boys Boy Scout. And there again, the monitors abused all the boys. He put a knife to my throat. And threatened me that I would die if I would ever speak about this. So I grew up disconnected. That's the only way I could survive. I forgot all memories of this. Luckily, there was this little flame, this little flicker. And this little flicker, one day, told me to join Pachamas in Guatemala. Now, I was scared. I went to see a therapist because this flame was keeping pushing me. I told her, I'm afraid of flying. I don't speak Spanish. I've never been a clown in my life. Guy, what do you want to do? Nobody ever asked me what I wanted to do. From inside came a small connection. I want to go. And I did. I was scared. I was with a group of people, but getting connected brought me that first hope. On our first outing, we went to an orphanage with more than 200 kids running around, jumping, and out of these 200 kids came this little angel, your Billy. I don't know why, she adopted me. She spent the whole morning with me. I don't speak Spanish, so I just did patty cake, patty cake, patty cake. I sang Wishing Upon a Star. She helped me give out stickers and balloons to the other kids. Look at her. Ding, 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 ding. It was lunchtime. We had to go separate ways. She clung to me and she started to cry. She didn't want to go. So I took her in my arms and I just gently rocked her. One of the assistants came and explained that we were just going for lunch and we would be coming back afterwards. She dried her tears, I let her down, and she just walked slowly. Bye, everybody. When she was in the building, my heart broke. I knew that at the end of the day, I would be going back to my group and eventually take a plane and eventually sing friends and family. But for her, this was it. That was the end. I felt hopeless. I couldn't breathe anymore. And out of this darkness, this pain, my heart just broke. But as it broke, a light came out. A light of love. A light of compassion. And right at that moment, maybe I can't change her world, but today I will give her all that I have. When I came back home from that mission, I knew I had found my purpose in life. Maybe I can change the world, but as long as I'm living, I'm going to give it everything I have. In Russia, I met this young boy, Ilya. It was in the psychiatric ward of the hospital. We were like 5, 6 clowns in the room, playing games, singing. He wasn't moving. The clowns left. I couldn't leave him. I saw in Ilya that I was abandoned. I was not going to abandon him. So I sat beside him. I took my ukulele and tried to sing some songs to him. He still didn't react. Then from deep inside, this idea came, give it to him. Give it the ukulele. So I actually just laid it just in front of him, and just one little chord at a time. Ding, dong, ding, dong. And for half an hour, he just played and played and played. He had just reached out. He was now together with us. In India, the homeless are just everywhere in the streets. And there's something I had never encountered before, which was leprosy. Now, they told us leprosy is not contagious. They don't know exactly what it is, but it's not contagious. So, because it was such emotionally demanding clowning with these people, we had days off. And in one of the days off, I was walking around with one of my clown friends, and there was this woman begging in a staircase in an overpass over the highway. We could see the blood was covering her bandages and a few fingers and toes missing. People weren't stopping by, looking away. We stopped. How are you doing? Universal language of love. You don't need to understand the word. So we went to the market. We bought water, we bought fruits, we brought flowers, and we made her a garland. And we came back and we sat with her, started to hug her, and started to pray with her, for her. Clowning had opened my heart that its humor was a piece of it, but to be a loving soul, to listen, to love, and to share. We can all share our love. We can all share and listen. When I was 8 years old, in school, I sat in the corner and I hid in the library. 3 years ago, I couldn't keep the kids away from me. Humor had transformed my life. Humor had healed my life. Writing this presentation for you, this is the first time I'm doing this, has been a challenge because speaking about what happened to me meant that I would be killed. I know nobody here is going to kill me. But my feelings, that's something else. Making a conference like this means I don't deserve to be loved. I only deserve to be abandoned. But you're still here, so I thank you for that. And I was afraid you would know that I was a monster, because I was guilty. But actually writing this conference on April 1st, I actually met my monster. I sat down with him. I listened. I gave him love. And we shared our stories. And I finally understood that there are no monsters. There are some monstrous actions. I never was a monster. I never committed monstrous action. I was not responsible or guilty. This is the power of humor. This is the power of listening, of loving and sharing. This is my story. Just imagine you are healers. We are all healers in this room. We have one purpose in life, is to help others. I'm blessed to be with all of you. Just imagine what you could accomplish if you would listen maybe something differently, love something differently, and share maybe something differently. It transformed my life. I know that if you do, it will transform your life. And you will all become the centers of love also. Thank you.